Commander Vorthak of the Galactic Dominion stood aboard the command vessel Tarkalon's Fong, his claws tapping impatiently on the armrest as the blue-green sphere of Earth hovered on the main view screen. "Another death world," he growled. "Primitive, unshielded, yet teeming with carbon-based life. Typical." His adjutant, Subcommander Yiltrax, hesitated before speaking. "Sir, this one has anomalies. Reports from our long-range bioprobes indicate something unusual beneath the crust. Biological traces, but ancient. Older than the dominant species." "Older than humans?" Vorthak scoffed. "Impossible. This species only recently achieved orbital flight. What could possibly predate them?" Yiltrax tilted his head, mandibles twitching. "Scans show ruins buried under kilometers of sediment. Structures of impossible geometry. Organic material fossilized in ways we've never seen. The humans call them myths, but some records hint they interacted with these entities." Vorthak's ridges pulsed with interest. "Then we land. Deploy scout parties. I want to know what's hiding under that rock." Meanwhile, on Earth, Dr. Lena Valen, xenobiologist and lead researcher at the Greenland Anomaly Research Site, frowned at her latest data readout. The seismic sensors had begun detecting rhythmic vibrations from a layer once thought inert. Her assistant, Raj Patel, leaned over her shoulder. "It's moving again?" "Not just moving," Lena replied. "It's resonating. Like it's aware." Raj swallowed. "We've never seen anything like this. I think something under the ice is responding to the alien scans." They both turned to look out at the frozen wasteland, where a faint humming had begun to vibrate through the research station. Orbit, Dominion landing site. 12 Dominion warships descended through Earth's atmosphere, deploying thousands of biomechanical scouts and extractor drones. In the Amazon, they harvested plant DNA. In the Pacific, they sampled abyssal microbes. In Greenland, they sent a full excavation team. The Dominion's elite Xena division, the Skarn unit, was first to touch ground on the Greenland site. Subcommander Yiltrax himself accompanied the unit, his spiked armor glinting in the pale sun. The humans, unaware of their presence, remained inside the research station until something screamed beneath the ice. Beneath the ice, the awakening. The excavation drones struck something pulsing, something not quite stone, and not quite flesh. A vast shape, kilometers wide, lay dormant in the ice, surrounded by petrified bones of creatures unknown to Dominion biology. Yiltrax approached it cautiously. "Is this a vessel?" "No," one of the scientists whispered. "It's alive." The pulse increased. A blinding psychic wave erupted from the ice, stunning every alien on sight. For 3 seconds, every Dominion soldier relived their deepest fear. Some dropped dead on the spot. Others screamed and ran into the blizzard. From orbit, Vorthak's voice roared across comms. "Status report. Only static." Humanity's reaction. When Dominion ships were detected entering Earth's atmosphere, world governments scrambled jets and missiles, but the invaders had cloaking and shielding tech far beyond human capability. However, the old organizations knew. The hidden enclaves, the black archives, the classified parts of the UN. A single message was sent from an underground bunker in Siberia. Subject Sigma is waking. On every continent, old guardians stirred. Men and women whose ancestors had kept secrets buried for generations opened vaults and whispered prayers to things even they barely understood. Dominion panic. Back on the Tarkalon's Fong, the psychic wave triggered red alerts across the fleet. Systems crashed. AI cores malfunctioned. Holographic projections distorted into shapes that caused madness. Commander Vorthak, barely able to keep composure, turned to his science officer. "What did we touch?" The officer, blood streaming from his ears, muttered, "It's not human. It's not even alive the way we understand it. It was here before the crust cooled, before the oceans formed. But what is it? It calls itself the Warden." Lena's revelation. Dr. Valen had seen the records, the forbidden texts smuggled out of deep state bunkers. She now understood that humanity's survival on this death world had never been an accident. We were never the apex predators, she whispered. We were the tolerated ones. The ice cracked open. A vast limb, shaped like overlapping fractal armor and chitin, emerged. It didn't move like a creature, it unfolded like a concept. And it looked directly at the Dominion's main ship. Raj screamed. Lena stood transfixed. It remembers, she said. The sky turned dark at noon. The Warden speaks. From every screen, every frequency, every vibrating atom, a message emerged. Not in sound, but in thought. You have come to a garden. You are not welcome here. Leave or be turned to roots. Commander Vorhak shouted. Weapons. Fire all ion lances. Beams of unimaginable energy lanced from orbit into Greenland. They struck the emerging creature directly. The light vanished. For a moment, it seemed like the threat was neutralized. Then 1,000 black tendrils shot upward from the planet's crust, snaring 5 warships mid-orbit and crushing them like insects. Vorhak stepped back in horror. This isn't a death world. It's a graveyard. Aboard the Tarkalon's Fong, silence gripped the command bridge. Half the screens were black. The crew was either dead, catatonic, or sobbing in the corners of the room. Commander Vorthak's limbs trembled. Not from fear, but from something deeper. Something primal. They crushed our warships like they were paper, he muttered. His science officer, drenched in sweat and blood, whispered. We didn't invade a world. We invaded a mind. Earth. Global response. Across Earth, as the skies darkened and magnetic storms began to ripple across the atmosphere, old alliances were restored. The UN activated Project Hollow Thorn, NATO deployed black site units to ancient temples, and rogue states unleashed weapons that had never appeared on any ledger. Not to fight the aliens, but to appease what they knew was waking. Humanity's leaders weren't calling it a war. They were calling it a reckoning. Greenland. The Warden fully rises. From the shattered ice and smoking crater, the being now fully emerged. Its body was a kaleidoscope of shifting geometries, impossible to focus on, impossible to forget. Every movement sang in multiple dimensions. Yiltrax, barely alive at the base of the glacier, watched in terror as the Warden moved. Not toward them,
but toward the sky.
A wave of gravitational pressure hit him, collapsing his lungs. His last thought before unconsciousness was simple. We were never the apex predators. Neither were the humans. A message from the Warden. Every human with even a drop of latent psychic potential, dreamers, empaths, the mentally ill and the gifted, heard it. You are the seeds. They are the rot. The soil must be cleansed. Old cults reawakened. Forgotten bloodlines activated genetic triggers that had lain dormant for millennia. The Warden didn't speak to leaders. It spoke to humanity's bones. And Earth responded. Dominion desperation. Commander Vorthak ordered a full retreat. All ships, ascend. Flee this cursed place. It was too late. The Earth's crust cracked in 27 places globally. From each fissure, tendrils of black light reached upward, tethering the fleet to the sky like marionettes. Some ships tried to warp. They didn't. Instead, their own warp drives inverted, folding the vessels into impossible shapes before collapsing into orbs of dense gravity and vanishing. One crewman screamed, "This world is cursed." Another corrected him. "No, it's protected." Humanity turns the tide. With the Dominion fleet in chaos, Earth's response changed. Fighter jets escorted massive cargo planes not filled with weapons, but with artifacts, monoliths, crates bearing sigils that no longer translated to any known language. In the Gobi Desert, monks opened the vault of 17 names. In the Congo, shamans called upon the skydiggers. In Rome, Vatican operatives whispered prayers to things the Church never admitted were real. And all of them converged in Greenland.
Contact.
Lena Valen, barely conscious, found herself face to face with the Warden. Not physically, but mentally. Inside its domain. It showed her memories, not of Earth, but of the stars. Of galactic empires long dead. of civilizations who had tried to tame death worlds and found only oblivion. "You are the first to be tolerated," it said. "Why?" she asked. "Because you remember fear. And yet you come anyway." It showed her the future. A burnt galaxy. A war that would stretch across time itself. And a single seed, Earth, holding the line. The final blow. The Warden rose above Earth, like a god of entropy. The remaining Dominion ships fired in desperation, but their beams bent backward, striking their own hulls. Then the Warden extended a single limb. A pulse erupted, not heat, not energy, but correction. Every Dominion vessel in orbit gone. Not destroyed. Removed. As if they had never been. On Earth, skies cleared. The humming stopped. And Lena Valen opened her eyes. Aftermath. Global broadcasts resumed. Humanity had survived. The Dominion? A ghost fleet now. Records of their invasion ended mid-transmission. No one else in the galaxy would ever know what happened to them. But Earth knew. And Earth remembered. The Warden returned to its slumber. Not because it was defeated, but because its purpose was fulfilled.
For now. Epilogue.
On a distant planet, light years from Earth, a Dominion probe received a brief, corrupted signal. "Do not go to Earth. It has a gardener." The probe deleted itself.